Hey, it's Dan Harlan. I am here with Roberto Giobbi. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
If you don't already know, Roberto is the author of the Card College series. You already have these books, but
maybe not.
Maybe not. and if you don't, I feel very, very sad for you. These are the preeminent work on card magic, and it's really the first time that card magic has ever been approached as a scholarly pursuit in such a clear fashion and thorough. And it really, we don't like to do a comparison with other works that have come before. They have their place, they still have their place, but honestly, this has surpassed everything. And that's my opinion. I'm just going to say that in my opinion to you, that you have surpassed everything that came before and have done a better job of explaining everything, more clear, more ordered. Really is, a course on card magic. And enjoyable, so enjoyable from beginning to end, and absolutely everything that they get in here is so amazing. Look, just illustrated perfectly, and in fact, here I picked out a page to demonstrate that just in looking at illustrations alone, so much better than we've ever had in the past. It kind of plays out like a little movie, right?
Got inspired from a cookbook, where you would have the ingredient and next to it what to do it. The next ingredient, what to do it with it. The next ingredient, rather than having a list of ingredients, and then a text which tells you what to do.
Yeah.
And when you do the cooking,
and
you always have to go back and forth.
Yeah.
So I thought, I need to do this.
Right in line.
So this is sort of like a film clip,
Yep.
This was pre-YouTube.
And that's like in everything.
It's in everything. So you look at the images and you immediately know what the gestalt, the visible gestalt, I like to call it, of the move is. So, and then I will always give an introduction where I say, like describing an effect. When you describe a trick, it's important to describe what is this move good for.
Yeah.
So with the following move, you're going to learn how to control a specific card to any location you like. So now you know what that's good for, what the tool does. Now you look at it and say, that's how it's done. Now here you get all the details with it, and at the end of it, I will have usually a quite large checkpoint section where I come back to those points I know by experience do create some difficulties. By giving many lectures and personal coachings, I know the questions that are being asked. Sure. I know the difficulties that come up.
Yeah.
So I've written this book really with several people watching over my shoulder, so the professional who needs to perform, the scientist who wants it to be precise, the historian who wants to know where things come from, and the beginner who hasn't got a clue and now needs to be led through this wonderful path that leads hopefully to astonishing card magic.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're talking about both volumes 1 and 2, and the reason that we're talking about both of these together is because you initially wrote them as a single volume, as a single book.
Started, I wrote first of all, I made a mind map, and that took me almost a year to find hundreds of what order should I put in the chapters, what are the best techniques to solve the particular problem, what would be a good trick to illustrate the application, what shows aspects of the timing and misdirection, and all the theoretical concepts which are in as well. At the beginning without being explained, at the end you get the theory.
Yeah.
Chapter in volume 2, you get 7 essays on the theory of magic, 100 pages, and then I write and start to write, and my wife said, Barbara, who has, she provided all the illustrations. Without my wife Barbara, these books probably could not have been done. It's impossible to pay professional illustrations like that. It's like $50, $60 a piece. You can't pay them, So we did this together, Barbara and I, and she's always the smarter person than I am. So she goes, Roberto, you've been writing now for almost 2 years. We should go to the printer and ask about options. And I go to the printer and he says, this is going to be a book with 550 pages. You're going to kill them.
Yeah, you're going to kill people just taking it off of their shelves.
So why don't you do 2 books? And my first thought is, well, the guy just wants, to get more money because it's more expensive to make 2 books. And then I go home and think about it, and I say, no, this is not about my ego and to show off you have the biggest possible book or something.
Right.
It is I want to teach that. I want people to learn. And if you talk about teaching, well, you get into didactics. Didactics is about how does the person who learns approach a subject. What are his questions, her and his difficulties, and then try to formulate what you teach in such a way that that person will be able to understand it and also joyfully understand it, because if you leave the playfulness apart, you're killing a dimension of your own. So I always tried to consider all these aspects and put them in here. And then I decided to 2 books. So actually in German, when this came out, 1992, I sold them, and I'm still selling them together. In German, you are not allowed to buy 1 or 2 separately. You must take the 2 together, also in French. And of course, other publishers have said, no, it's easier to sell and things like that, and it's true. Many have volume 1 and don't have volume 2. So it's not because I want to sell something, it's because I've put a great part of my life and my knowledge and into that I tell you, if you're interested in card magic and card college, get 1 and 2 together, as you get 3 and 4 together, and 5 also as a separate item.
As its own.
So
and actually that's the thing. Somebody can get just one of these, and they would most likely start out with volume 1, but they would eventually want to get this one anyway. If they're just getting this one just to try it out and just kind of see if they like it, they're going to like it almost immediately. Look, if you get this and you start to read it, you're going to wish that you had gotten that one as well.
And the didactical structure of it is that we have thematic subjects like controls, where I then have a choice of controls for different situations, because it's like with one screwdriver you can't solve all the problems of the screwdriver. It's better to have a little set of screwdrivers. So with controls it's the same. It's not enough to just know one control. So I didn't just describe several controls for the sake of showing off how many controls I know, because there are only just about the 4 volumes together, maybe a dozen or so, and I have a list of 100.
You were, and that's the thing. You were very careful sifting through it. Very selective, getting the best of the best. Yeah, absolutely.
Many people call it, especially the French, say l'encyclopédie, the encyclopedia. It's not an encyclopedia. Anybody can write an encyclopedia. You just take anything that is there, give it a name, put it into order, and describe it. That's an encyclopedia. This is a course, which means I've carefully selected with particular criteria. We don't have the time to discuss here, but maybe
but it'll be clear when you see it. Absolutely.
So this is really what it is. What it says it is a course in sleight of hand card magic.
Absolutely is.
And it ends with a theory section.
Sure. In volume 2, you get the theory section. Now, don't be put off by that. Sometimes sometimes magicians are put off by the theory
interesting part,
sections.
really.
It is. It's the best part. You don't get any pretty pictures. They all happen inside your head as you're reading the theories, but
and referencing to the book.
What is this? It's about 100 pages or so of...
What's about 100 pages, yes.
Over 7 different essay
timing,
topics.
Presentation, technique management and handling, program construction, what can go wrong, mistakes you can make, how to practice a 15-page essay, and with literary references, and so I recommend additional literature.
Bibliography, for those of you that are unfamiliar with the term.
I mean, the bibliography is first of all the books I've used. That's one thing. But these are recommendations, a reading list. So it's a difference. The reading list tells you, okay, if you're interested more about the psychology of communication, or of how the memory works, or problem solving, or what to do with difficult people, I will have a list. What about body language? So I have 3 books I recommend on body language, 3 books I recommend on construction, how architects use constructions, how a musician would use composition, how Alfred Hitchcock would construct a movie. I think. So there's not magic books only I recommend. It's a big list of magic books I recommend. But also interdisciplinary books that allow to get insights from other areas and apply them here. So, you know, it's
Yeah,
really-
and this is the thing that I wanted to say about that section in particular. You're going to learn great tricks throughout the entire course, and you're going to learn, you know, sleight of hand and the mechanics of things and all of that. That's what you anticipate. But I have been in this business for a long, long time. I've made my living 100% as a magician, and I wish when I started out that I had that section in Volume 2 all put together there, because if you really, really care about the performance of magic and doing it properly, you'll get both of these and you'll start reading back there. I mean, that's my opinion again, but you can't go wrong. Whether you do card magic or not, you can't go wrong with learning what we're talking about and saying is theory and philosophy, but really comes down to the principles of performing. These things are tried and true and tested and can be put into practice.
And they are lived in every
yeah.
technical and every trick description.
Yeah.
So I had letters from people who said, "Oh, I started out by reading the theory chapters, then I read the whole thing, and then I came back to the theory chapters again." I had people write in and said, "I'm a teacher, I'm a journalist, I'm a professor, university professor, and I got many ideas from your theory chapters how to teach, you know, and how to communicate, how to solve problems in my own profession." So I've inspired myself from other books, you know,
Sure.
and apparently some other people getting inspiration for their discipline from my book. So that was one of the most fantastic compliments.
It's
got,
great.
you
It's
know,
a
yeah,
well-deserved
yeah.
compliment because you have done a fantastic job. These are inspirational works. If you haven't gotten them yet, you absolutely must get them. Start out with Volume 1 and 2, and there are ones that are after this that you will want to get those as well. Thank you so much, Roberto, for bringing them to us.
Thank you.